Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel and this next leg of our Caro-Kann speedrun series, where I will be playing 5 plus 0 second increment games from the black side. And as always, I want these games to be entertaining and educational and engaging, so make sure you have your hand ready on the mouse to pause the video when you hear or see the tactics recognition buzzer so that you have that opportunity to try to find these moves on your own. All right, that's it. Let's get started.
And here we go.
Yes, we are back in black. Welcome to the 1100 rating Caro-Kann series. We have the advanced variation. We'll push our good buddy C5, and I just got through talking about this in the video that I made literally a couple of hours ago, right? What do we do here? For those of you who just watched it a few minutes ago, we have to take on D4 first, and then we go for the pin. So early queen b6, I think it's a little bit premature for that. Let's go ahead and get our knight to the f5 square. Uh-huh. Ooh. Doesn't quite work. Doesn't work. I was thinking bishop to b4 check, and if they block with c3, then we take, they take, queen here. If they take, we take the pawn first, but I think they can just go knight b to d2. So let's just continue with knight to e7, knight g to e7. Anytime this bishop is harassed, we're going to remove that guy in the advanced variation so that we can soften up the d4 pawn. Yes. Again, this doesn't do anything. They can just block with a knight. Let's go ahead and put the knight on f5. Then we'll look at queen b6. Yeah. So now I think bishop b4 makes some sense. Of course, they can just take here, which is fine. Yeah, we can also just play a6. I remember the exact move order here. I kind of like a6 just to go ahead and ask the question, are you going to take this? Yeah, so now queen b6 comes with a little bit more bite to it because, yeah, that move doesn't really do anything because now you have to go right back to where you were. And now I think bishop b4 looks very good. Maybe even taking here first because we've got bishop b4, they can just drop back. And also consider playing c5 here. And if they take, we push with the fork. That also looks good. Everything looks good. And I do mean everything. Yeah, if we play bishop b4, if they back up, that just drops the d4 pawn. All right, let's go with c5. Let's see if they will fall into the trap. They do not. They don't fall into it. They just allow it to happen. Oh. Okay. Now, this is the obvious recapture, right? Let's just stop for a minute and make sure there's nothing better. I don't think there is, but we do need to check. Yeah, I don't see it. Don't see anything better. And we'd like to trade, right? So let's develop at the same time that we trade. And we're just up a full piece. Now we have pressure on B6. Do we want to take that, or is that a bit greedy? It's not greedy because E5 is hanging. This move, we have to be careful because there is a tactic on D5, so we need to protect it. Let's drop the queen back to D6 just to make sure this doesn't happen with the pin. And then finally on move 87, we will castle. I don't care about that pawn. We're up +5. Safety first. Even though this was covered, if we had taken that pawn. Okay, so now it's time to trade. Actually, I'll push this just to maybe give us a post there on B4 with a rook, since the queen is already on the 4th rank. So like here, we can park a rook on the 4th rank. And now it's time to turn on the jets. 38 seconds. We got this. Yep. 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 Back rank. Let's be principled. I will make an escape square. Okay. Gotta make sure we don't fall for any of that nonsense. The knight here, if you pin it, we'll just go queen b6. Yep. Or actually, we can just give the check. And now we can put our knight here. That. Yep. Check. Ooh.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good game, Luigi? It's a Mario. Hey guys, so while editing this video, I had to come back and cut into this spot, speaking of Mario and Luigi, and bring you guys today's sponsor, which is Nintendo. And that is completely fictional and hot garbage because I don't have any sponsors. But if you guys think that I'm kind of decent in chess, you ain't seen nothing watching me play Mario Kart. So I am absolutely 100% irrefutably undefeatable, which is a word that I just made up. But I played Daisy on the Mach bike. And at the 150cc level, which is the second hardest behind the mirror, there are 32 courses on the game. I have beaten all 32 courses as first place over 3 times in a row. All right. So I'm no math teacher, but I think that's 96, close to 100 first place finishes in a row on the second hardest level. So if you guys would like to have a world championship on Mario Kart for Wii, this is the second best game on planet Earth behind chess, of course. You guys let me know, and I'm there for it. Luigi Boladasso from Brazil. You played well. You played well. Just a couple of things there. Okay. Well, first of all, let's see how we did. I got to try not to laugh too hard. But that's so funny. 2 things that I literally just mentioned in the video that I posted on the channel a couple of hours ago. So just can't seem to get away from that 93% accuracy number. So maybe that's our new go-to. When we hit that number, it's like a magnet. Only one inaccuracy, so let's see where we messed up. So C5 push in the advanced variation. And again, I just talked about this in the video a couple of hours ago, refreshing our memory that in this position, when they put the knight on F3, you can't pin right away because then they'll take C5, play B4, and you never get this C5 pawn back. So that's why we always have to remember to take on D4 first. Then we pin. E6 is correct. Yeah, this was a spot. If you notice, 418 to 322, I spent almost a minute on here on this move, and I couldn't make anything work. So, but the computer does say bishop b4 is the best move. So what does, okay, yeah, knight c3. Okay, yeah, the computer just wants to develop, so there wasn't anything there. But I did burn a lot of time on that move. Okay, so they pin the knight. Yep. Yeah, anytime they harass the bishop, we just remove the defender of this soft d4 square. Yeah. And anytime in the advanced variation, getting that knight early to f5 is almost never going to be a bad thing. So that was the best move. Here, that was just an okay move. I like to resolve the issue. What are you going to do? Are you going to take? Are you going to back up? They took. That's great for us. And yeah, now you got to go right back to where you were. And then here, I realized, okay, so c5 was the best move. So I realized I didn't mention this during the game, but I said something like, okay, if they take, we have a fork. And then I realized that we can't do that because the rook on a8 is hanging, but they allowed that fork anyway. We took it, one apiece. Yeah, okay, best move, developing, trying to trade pieces. Yep. Yeah, look at that, guys. I even said that. I was like, I'm not even sure we want that pawn. But then I thought, okay, we're going to pick up 2 pawns for it. And they went here. And then I also realized this might be, okay, yeah, that is the inaccuracy. So I realized like a moment later, like 2 or 3 moments later, moves later, that wherever the queen goes, they're basically going to have pressure with this pin. And so I went here trying to stop this, and just an oversight on my part. They can just take here. So, but the funny thing is, the computer only says this is an inaccuracy. It says it's still minus 3.4 because even losing this, and then we castle with these 2 extra pawns in the middle, and it's just completely dominating. So that was my big screw up. But now we're way ahead. Okay, likes that. Yep. Yep. Yeah, see, it wants to put the queen on that outpost. Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't think there's too much else to talk about there. So, all right, good start. Next up, we have not 007, but just '07 Hannah from Mexico with the double pawn maneuver in the beginning. It does not change what we're going to do. And now we've basically transposed to another advanced variation. I'll do another c5, and maybe next time I'll do the bishop f5 line. So we literally just saw this. I'm really waiting for some more classical, some fantasy. Okay, so this is something, little bit new wrinkle. Let's go ahead and let's take first. Let's go ahead and get the bishop to f5. So this is kind of like a bishop f5 line, just with the f4 played a little bit earlier move order. e6. Yeah. We can play h5 here. E6, I'm pretty sure, is the correct move. Will they play g4, drop the bishop back? Mm, yeah, I think e6 is correct. And now we can take this extra tempo, and this is, again, if you haven't heard me say this yet, this is one reason why that c5 push is preferred over some of these bishop f5 lines, because in the bishop f5 line, we have to use a tempo to get to this g4 square where we want to remove the defender of that d4 pawn. And once again, now this is even worse because they took with a pawn. So now this knight on f5 is going to be a monster. If they play bishop d3, I will strongly consider playing g6 just to lock this guy in. Maybe have an open G file to play with. So I do like knight f5 now, because then we are threatening d4. Again, we just mentioned that in the last game, getting that knight to f5 very early on. And already, what are you doing about this pawn? Can't play that. You can play that. But I think we will just simply play. Yeah, that's hanging. That is hanging. Mm, such a weird structure. We want to take that? Do we want to go queen b6? You're going to lose a pawn either way. I think that I'm thinking. Okay, let's go queen b6. And you still have this problem. What are you doing about this? I just felt like maybe taking this, opening up some lines. I'm not sure. This probably will be a game where we don't castle. I mean, I'm fine exchanging here on d4 with the queen and getting the knight here. We're threatening c2. We're hitting f3. It's a very weird structure. What does that move do? We can take this. We can give a check. It still doesn't win the knight. Give a check with the bishop. Bishop here. Queen takes. Bishop takes. Takes. Still hitting that and that. That looks good. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Going through the checklist. What the heck is that? Okay. I guess they really want to get this knight to c5, which I was trying not to let them do. Okay. Check. Forces the queens off. Yeah, I'd love to be able to play. Okay, well, we can trade there. That's at least we can do that. Bringing this back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Go here, rook here. Whoops. Rook here. Takes, takes. Rook here. All right, we'll do it. We will do it. Yeah, and then I was just looking at rook here. Just bring the bishop all the way back if they play a3. And now we're fine. If they put the knight there, then we'll trade. And yeah, I'm actually sure. Should we castle or not? I'm going to play g6 just to try to get a lock on these. I might play king d7 here. Okay, we were glad to take that. More than happy to take that. All right, so let's lock down over here, and let's just bring the king in. Your pawn structure is very weak. We are more than happy. What is the rook doing over there? I don't know what that is. You can never move any of these pawns. Okay, let's defend. Yep, bring the rook in. They go rook here. We'll go rook here. Yep. Push. Maybe bring the king around. We just need to trade a pair of rooks. Ooh, I'm spending too much time running my mouth. As always. Gotta turn on the jets again. Sorry, I'm not meaning to do this on purpose. To play slow in the beginning just so we can play. Okay, so that looks like that's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now I'm actually not going to take the rook. I'm just going to give a check. Now we have a pass pawn. Mm-hmm. We get into this square, and that's it. And now we have the opposition. And we're going to win the pawn. Oh, okay. And we can give a check. Force the trade. And that's it. Good game, 007 Hannah from Mexico. Yeah. All right. Let's see how we did. Okay, 89%. We'll take that. No blunders, misses, mistakes. We had 5 inaccuracies, but let's give credit to Agent 007 Hannah. I mean, they played well. I thought they played a fantastic game. Great job by them. All right, let's see where we had some subtleties. Yeah, back to the transposition. Yeah, see, I actually thought about that move on the next move. Yeah, I mentioned that. So I guess I was slightly wrong there because I said, "Listen, what's the difference?" It's only a difference of a tenth of a pawn, but I had really thought about that move to prevent this because this is one of the reasons why I stopped playing the Caro-Kann years ago because of this. I stopped playing the Bishop F5 line, I should say, because of this G4 push idea. Yeah. Yep. And then we pin, take, and now, okay, yeah. So that was, yeah. I could have thrown in the check there. I was just in a hurry to get the knight to F5. Yep. Okay, that was fine. Yeah, queen there. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think I mentioned that. Interesting. Let's go queen here. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it makes some sense. Maybe we're threatening this, threatening winning a pawn that way. Okay. That was one of our inner. Yeah, I thought about that. Mentioned that. I was like, man, I just kind of want to go back to F5 to this nice safe square away from the dark squared bishop. Yeah. So that was another kind of back to back inaccurate. I guess, yeah, we didn't necessarily. It's still very good, minus -0.9, about a pawn. Still very good for black. Yeah, and so we should not have taken there. Interesting. I don't know. I don't like that knight sitting there because I'd had ideas. I mean, I wanted to do that. Yep, that was the plan all along. Then I got really low on time. I didn't realize how low I was. And look at that, guys. If you take that, right? If you take this, then it starts to become. Well, I guess that's fine too. Yeah, I guess that was the best move. If we take, wow, that's one of those rare times where either one was. I just had a feeling, I only had 20 seconds left. I just had a feeling that if we put it there, maybe they thought that we mouse slipped and they take. And now to me, this is easier to play because we have a protected pass pawn. So yeah, but I knew this was just winning here. It's minus 2.2. Now we get to this square. Credit to them because they played a very nice move here. They sacrificed that pawn to try to get a tempo back, but then we get to sacrifice our pawn so that we can win from here. So, all right, cool deal. Moving on. All right, we have Orkundger. Turkey? Yep. All right, I've been playing a lot of C5. Let's go with the Bishop F5 line. They're going to play that. They're going to play this. Yeah. Okay, so now we kind of transpose to some lines we've already seen before. So let's go with our C5 push now. Knight C6. Okay, here I'm tempted to pin the knight. Maybe take first and then pin. Yeah, let's take, actually. Yeah, if I take first, they can take here first. So let's pin. And then we'll take on D4. And that just loses a pawn. If they give us a check, we just bring the knight back to protect on C6. And we are just up a pawn. Actually, they can't check. We just take it. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Okay. Should we throw in the intermezzo check? Should we play rook c8? Interesting. Or when we take something for free, should we just bring it right back where it was? I don't want to play this move, but yeah, let's just bring it back. Let's stay true to what we've been doing. Right, this knight wants to go to f5, maybe. Uh, Pause the video. Condition number 1, pieces on the same straight line. That is a fork. All right, so what's the best way to take? We're up a piece, so I think we want to exchange. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here I definitely don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the trade here. We can just, okay. Yeah, they want to come here, of course. We can castle. We could just check and then castle short. I like that. Let's do that. Don't go there. Yeah, they'll go here. And then I think we just castle short. If they push this, this is probably fine. Uh-huh. Yeah. Ooh. Pause the video. Also, condition number 1, light. Light. That's going to hurt. That will be game over. Let's see how we did. All right, we're breaking away from the magnet a little bit this time. Only 92% with 1 inaccuracy. Where did we go wrong? Yeah, so I haven't been doing a whole lot of bishop f5 lines in the advanced variation, but there have been a lot of games where we've pushed c5 and we have seen this f4 and we put the bishop here anyway. So far, we haven't seen any of these other bishop f5 lines that I talked about in the masterclass. It's just been kind of pretty much a combination of the c5 push stuff. Yes, all this is correct. Yep. Yeah, I think we talked about this before, knight to h6 to be able to take back. Because you don't want to go, if we want the knight to this square, we don't want to go here because that blocks the bishop recapture. And then they can play b4 and we don't get that pawn back. I just like, I like the pin to be able to, and then, yeah. It's just a free pawn. Okay, so it wanted to, I thought about that move, but I didn't think that was any good. I mean, I thought about this for like half a second because, I saw this and then it's like, yeah, but then that. Ah, yes. Yes, we do have this move. That's very nice. That's a very nice spot. Because then, yes, I missed that in my calculation because whatever they do, we get to take. Yeah, okay. That was a bit of an oversight on my part. The one time we didn't bring it right back. Yeah. Just walks into a fort. Okay, taking with the queen was best. Mm, okay. All right. So giving the check and castling short was correct. That's good. And they just resigned. All right. Let us continue. Next, we have Osaka Great from India. Good luck. Another exchange variation. In and win. Mm-hmm. What would you like to do, sir? Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Unprotected piece. This is a 1 versus 1. Unprotected piece. 1 versus 1. Pieces lined up on the same straight line. Free pawn. Yep. All right. So my instinct is to take the bishop first. So we maintain a pin. Yeah. Let's go with that. Just don't overthink that too much. I was looking for some stuff on C2, but I didn't see it. Okay, so they don't have any checks on the diagonal. My instinct tells me knight f5, which is where it wants to go anyway, but in this case, maybe to the d4 square if they don't play h3. So is there anything better than this? Again, I talk about, holding a piece, hovering it over the square when you're going through the checklist. I go through the checklist very, very fast in my mind. For those of you who are kind of new to it, obviously it's going to take some more time. Yeah, so I was looking at they don't have this, right, because of the pin. If they take that, we can just take with the queen, and there's still no check. So I think we're okay to play knight f5 there. But these kinds of things are always on my mind. Mhm. So I think we just take. Okay, let's just go. I don't see anything super strong here. Let's just try to trade and then get out of this line of fire on the E file. No, we're happy to trade. Anything better than castling? Queen b6. Queen b6 is a consideration. Yeah, let's just get castled. So they're threatening this, right? Okay, so let's don't allow that. Let's offer trade of queens. How many times have we seen this in the speedrun, guys? We have 2 pawns in the center, and white has none. Powerful, powerful pawn structure in the Caro-Kann lines. They play queen c7. I was just looking at maybe just pushing b5. Yeah, okay, they trade. Yeah, we can play that. We'll just go back. And we want to get a rook to the c file pretty early, I think. Yeah, so like right here, I think this is a good spot to do it. That was a good move by white because now they're defending laterally, the c2 pawn. Okay, don't know what that move does. We want to push b5 anyway. If you go here, you're going to be trapped. Yep. Okay, so let's double here on the c file. Now that freezes the b pawn. Freezes a lot of stuff. Need to make an escape square soon. Oh, they wanna try some back rank stuff, yeah. Yeah. That's not gonna happen. Right. Alright, let's double. Okay, where does this knight wanna be? Our knight wants to be on the c4 square, so how do I get there? There, right? Okay. So notice how I started with the square I wanted to land on. How do I get here? I need to go there. How do I get there? I need to go there. Oh, okay, there's my path. Don't think that's a good move there from white. Now they are very, very sensitive on the C file. Now this knight can't move. Okay, now I want to reroute to the E4 square to hit this. That's a bit weakening. If you play that move, then I'm going to go back and route this way. What is that? What that is? Anytime you have a pawn structure, no, let's go ahead and finish the game first. Yeah. Anything stronger than that? Nope. They can play knight there. We just back up. And now this is coming. Okay. Good, good. Knight here. And they will be almost out of moves. Knight here, push to dislodge. Okay, that's weakening. Don't see anything there. Now they can't really move either of these pieces. And this is going to dislodge the knight. And we pick up the free pawn. And now we have pass pawn on the A file. Let's push that. Actually, I don't really want to give that away, you know? Don't really want to give that away. Let's go ahead. I know they got to go right back to where they were, but now I want to create some. Okay, so this is fine. Now we push. Actually, I shouldn't pre-move too much. This is a mistake. This is a mistake what White's doing. I'll talk about this when we get to our end game lesson, which that's the very next thing I'm going to do after this Caro-Kann speedrun is I'm going to finally have my lesson on just basic in-game principles. And now we talk about this very thing and what White's king needs to do to try to hold on to this. Let's just take. And it's time for the Jets. Not the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Um, it's so funny that I have a shirt with the G on it, and it looks exactly like the Green Bay Packers. It's a green shirt, and the G, same exact thing, white with yellow. And it's from a high school that I used to teach at in Georgia, and it was called Greenbrier High School. And so I was in the barbershop the other day, and the guy looked at me, he's like, "I don't like your shirt." I'm like, "Oh, this is not the Packers. This is my old high school shirt." He's like, "Oh, okay, okay. I'm a Bears fan." Everybody sees that and they think I'm a Packers fan. I'm in South Carolina on the East Coast. I don't, nope. So that's kind of funny. All right, let's see how we did. So 87%, 20 best, 21 excellent, but 3 inaccuracies and a mistake. Not a big problem at all. Mistakes are how we learn. Let's see where we messed up. Yeah, we've seen all this before. Yeah, these are almost interchangeable. Yeah, that's 4/100ths of a pawn, not f6 and e6 in these lines once the bishop is outside. Almost interchangeable. Okay, I wanted to go queen. Let's see what the difference is there. Couple of tenths. Wanted to go queen here to hit the bishop. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, we got there, and that's just a free pawn. Okay, I wasn't sure about the exchange. Okay, so that was correct. Then we played knight f5. Okay. Taking's fine. I'm like one move behind what the computer wants me to do. So that's pretty funny. So they want the knight to f5, and I was a little bit behind. And they wanted bishop d6, and then I played it. I'm a move behind, and yeah, this is just lost. I mean, look at this. We're only up a pawn, but that I'm telling you, those two central pawns are so powerful. Again, oh, look at this. Okay, so yeah, so the computer understands that, there's some play here, what we talked about, and the computer wants to immediately go for the exchange of queens. I decided to castle and then go for the exchange, and that was our mistake. What? Oh, did they have this? Oh no. Oh, they had bishop takes. Oh, and if we take, the knight recaptures. Oh, I missed that. Y'all see that, guys? They could. That's a nice find by the computer, because if we just take back with the pawn, then we drop the knight. And this is actually no good. This is good for white, because now this pawn is going to be lost. Ooh, okay. Definitely need a slap on the wrist for that one. Yeah, I totally missed this idea that the knight could recapture. Okay, so all right, now they took, and now we're back to completely lost. Yep. And from here, I think everything was pretty good. Yeah, I didn't get to finish my point during the game, but anytime you have a pawn structure like this, it could be a pawn chain, say, this, or even like this, and you have like this kind of triangle wedge. Whenever you have a pawn right behind that pawn, very powerful, because the pawn controls these two squares and the knight controls those two squares, right? So it's just like you're like waiting in the woods, you're waiting behind the bushes, ready to pounce once something happens on these two files. So yeah, this part I might not have played. Starting to get a little low on time. Yeah, dislodge that knight. Okay, so pushing it was best. Pass pawns must be pushed, right? Oh, I wanted to push it again. Yeah. And now it's over. Yeah, there's not much to do here. Oh, I could have taken the pawn. Down to less than 30 seconds. But okay, so I will talk about this exact thing. I'm gonna leave a little cliffhanger here. So this is lost, but going back to this spot, I mean, it's lost anyway because we have an extra pawn. But let's say that white had a 3 against 3, or maybe even a 3 against 2 over here. there is a way for white to save this and to potentially draw the game, and I'll talk about that when I do the in-game principles lesson on the main beginner to master playlist. I'll get to soon. They left their king on the open, and that's it. All right, I believe that was game number 4. Onward. All right, we have Armanullah from Iran. What are we going to get? Another exchange variation. Does nobody know any other lines? No other lines, eh? All right, let's go back to our queen c7 since there's a pawn on c3. And pin. Okay, they don't have control of e5 because our queen is there, so we'll drop it back. Knight f6, e6. Okay, so I think I'll play a6 here because I don't want to deal with this. e6. Okay, this could be a threat. Don't see it just yet. Um, all right, let's go bishop d6. As long as they can't lure this knight away, I don't see how they can do that on the next move. If they play that, we can just ignore it. Castle. Then they take, we have the b file to play with. Okay, so now we need to play. We need to play this. Actually, I could take one of these away. I can also play rook c8 for this. That's a very common idea. Yeah, I think I'll do that. This would be a way to get rid of their good light squared bishop, which would make our bishop even stronger. So they saw that idea. Now they walk right back into the pin. Okay. All right, let's castle. Oh, that's bold. That is bold. Boy, what a wide open, juicy king you have there. All right, take towards the center. I want to take that way to open up the F file, but we can't because that was weak. All right, so how do we crash through here? I'm going to play. I guess we can start with this move. All right, so now my plan is let's go here. Let's bring the queen around to h4 if we can get this knight on f3 to move. How do we do that? We need another knight on this square, which means how do I get to that square with this knight? Good luck. Oh, okay. That might be our key. Let them take, and that will force them to move. All right, let's just push b5. I want you to take. Thank you. Now we're coming in. Now ooh, okay. Well, here, takes. How do they stop that? We need to stop it. The problem is we play that, they can play that. All right, I'm going to let them take. Oh, no, but then our Bishop's hanging. Hold on. Okay, let's drop the bishop back. Actually, okay. So if they do shut it down, then the new plan will be to drop the bishop back to b8 and then get on this the b8 to h2 diagonal. If not, we're coming in this way. You can't really bring the queen in to help. Wait a minute, what am I talking about? If they close that down, that just traps the bishop. It's getting late, boys. What am I talking about? Here, takes, 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 takes. We're just up a piece. What am I talking about? Yeah, we're threatening this anyway. Can't really move that pawn. Yeah, that's what they had to do. All right, so what's wrong with this? Anything? I'm almost tempted to push and push. Okay, yes, because now if they bring the king up, then we can push and push, and then that looks to be game. Game over. You push here, here. Right. So now we push and push, force the king back to one of these two squares. This falls, and then that looks like game over. Oh, or they can just give us the bishop for free. Mm, yeah, take with the rook, I guess. And let's bring in all the boys. Uh-huh. Let's go. Oh, I saw something really nasty if they play a certain move. Otherwise, I think, yeah, this is good enough. That is one sad-looking king right there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we care about that. Where's the mate? Knight here. We'll just snap that off. Yeah, they resigned. Okay, they fought well. I think we had a pretty good attack there. Let's see how we did. That's definitely amazing. All right, so let's see. We had no inaccuracies, but we did have a mistake. That was probably something. Maybe we missed something more direct. That was a very fun position, but also fairly complicated in the sense that there were just tons and tons of things to calculate there. So all this is book stuff. Yep. Yeah, again, the difference in these two, I already said this, the difference between these two moves is 6/100ths of a pawn in that particular position. Yeah, wasn't sure. I guess maybe we didn't need to worry about that. Best. Yep. Best. Yeah. So the idea, if you've never seen this before, if they just played a random move, something like this, then we could play with this battery on the with this vertical battery here, this vertical battery. So on the vertical battery here, so they can't take obviously. So this picks up the light squared bishop, which is something. If we flip this around, this is something that I'm always looking at when I'm playing the London system or the Stonewall or something like that. This whole idea of this semi-open C file. But kudos to them because they saw that and they did not go in for that. So they played good move. Castling's best. Yeah, bold. It's aggressive. Oh, look at that, guys. Wow. It likes the F file so much that it's willing to give this up. That is cool. Wow. Okay. All right. That's file that one away as a potential. It's just hard for me to give up this central pawn, but yeah, with this, I mean, we don't see this too often, right? This is very, very weakening. So they're saying, you know what? Chuck that pawn. You can have our E pawn. This F file is going to be so powerful. That's really cool. Okay, so let's keep going. These are all good moves. Okay, that was our mistake. Okay, so why did we do that again? Oh, that's right. I was trying to bait them into taking this so that we can make this knight move. Okay, so all right. I'm sorry I went fishing, computer. Sorry. They took the bait anyway. And now this is lost. Yep, -2.5. Dead lost. Yep, that was the best move. Bringing in the queen was the best move. Pushing the F pawn is the best move. Taking the rook's best move. Yeah, I guess I could have, would have, should have gone straight in for F3, but yeah, best move. Excellent. Excellent. Wow. Okay, so we didn't miss anything. Yeah.
Vincent. We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Are we happy? Yeah. Yeah, we happy. That was a good game. Very, very happy with that one. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, I believe this is game number 6. We have I don't know how to say that. North Macedonia with the early amateur queen F3 trying to scholars mate us. Knight F6 to defend this. Knight C6. It's a little early for that. Don't want to play E6 and close in the bishop, so I guess we can play this. I mean, takes. Yeah. Takes. Check. Bring it back. Takes. Check. So I think we can block with the bishop there. Because if we take, check, we bring it back, they take, we take, they take, we take, and they'll win the d5 pawn back. So I think if they give us the check, we just block with the bishop. And take back with the queen, and then their queen is hanging with threats on c2. Okay. So that's good. My initial reaction is e5 just to build a big center. Yeah, I like that. e5 and then maybe even bishop f5 with tempo. And then what are you doing about the c2 pawn? Well, we got to play e5 to support the knight. Don't mind this because this looks like this could hurt. I don't see what you're doing about that move. What are you doing about c2? You don't have a check. This looks like big, big trouble. Yeah.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. They blundered.
Stop, drop, and roll.
I know it's silly. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't care. I'm a teacher. I'm always trying to look for silly ways, crazy ways to help students and folks remember things. So stop, drop, take the hands off the mouse. Let's don't be too quick to just take the rook. Let's stop. Is there anything better? Do we have any checks? We do have a check. We have a check on h6. What do they do about that? They can't block it with anything. So this looks like that is much stronger than simply taking the rook. So check. They have one squire. Yeah, this looks strong. So king here. I don't just want the rook, I want mate. Don't see anything though. What about pushing d4 here? And then pushing. That looks strong. That looks strong. Yeah, that's there. I know. This looks strong. Because if you do something to save your rook, what are you doing about that move? That loses the queen. Oh, this. Where's your king going, sir? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is there anything better than checkmate? Let's go through the checklist. Never mind. Let's checkmate. Oh man. Stop, drop, and roll. See? It's already paying off. I should have done that a few games ago. And I just put that video out. But yeah, it's funny. Somebody actually sent me a comment, put a comment on YouTube that little silly little acronym that we came up with actually helped them in one of their games. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I love to hear that kind of feedback. So let's see how we did. Hi. How are you guys doing? Have you seen my t-shirt? Mm. Wait, where do we screw up? We screwed up. There's where we screwed up. Should have brought it back to see. I can't believe that we did that. What do we do when we win something for free? What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to put it right back where it was. Oh my God. Stop, drop, and roll. Roll, get those gears rolling. Get those gears turning in your mind. It's nasty. Brutal. I even said they lost their queen during the game. They lost a little more than that. That was disgusting. That was brutal. Next. All right, game 7 here. We have Sus694205 from Singapore. I actually, believe it or not, I am actually working with a student client of mine in Singapore currently. So, Tori, if you're watching this, hey. So we have the classical. Yes, we finally have the classical. Are you going to play the Raza Studio Gambit? You guys have heard me say, okay, so if they, I'm going to back up just for a second. If they play this is the Raza Studio Gambit, they take, and you got to play Bishop F5. And then a lot of times you'll bring it back to G6, and that stops all of their attacking ideas, stops them in their tracks. Okay, so here we're going to play knight F6. Let's see if we get the Tartakower or, oh, the alien Gambit. The alien Gambit.
So you have chosen death.
Yeah, 2 moves. Yep. Bishop F3, we know to play C5. Bishop to C4 check. We actually can block that with the bishop. Here we play C5. Yep. And so we can, here we can, that's a little early. Yeah, we can go ahead and play knight C6 here, because if they push it, that's a free pawn. And if they take it, then they have no attack. I can't remember if we're supposed to go king G8 there first. This also stops the immediate knight E5 check. So I'm anticipating bishop C4 here. Yeah, it's a weird move order because, okay, well, what do we say? When we have a pawn on C5, what's the rule? Whenever they have C3 and there's tension between these two pawns and they have C3 played, we always, always, always take that. We cannot take this because they take, we take, they give a check, and we lose our queen. Okay, so let's just go ahead and stay principled here with our normal E6. This also allows a potential annoying check. That's weird. What? Just take that. Check. I'm not familiar with this. Yeah, they've misplayed this. Yeah, they have definitely misplayed this. They're bringing their king out like that. Okay, do we have any checks? On the light square, we have the light square bishop. No checks. Yeah, let's just put our knight on D5 where it normally goes, I think. And then king back to G8, rook to the F file looks very nice. Yeah, they're spinning moves. Let's go and play rook F8, I think. Yeah, I am not familiar with this. Never seen this position in my entire life, and these are my favorite because this is why chess is such a beautiful game. So, yeah, we go here. They want to go queen here, right? Mm-hmm. This may be one of the absolute rarest times that we would actually move. I actually might have misplayed that a little bit. I'm gonna put the king on this dark square. I don't know. I don't want to go here because then I don't know what to do after that. So I am gonna play this move. And then maybe queen here on the next move, just trying to trade queens. Right. Rook here, maybe. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe queen here to put pressure here. All right. Yeah, let's drop this back. I'm more than happy to see this. Yeah, so now we got pressure here on E5, which looks very nice. Whoa! What is that move about? Okay. Um, don't understand this. Hitting the rook. What? Nah. That just loses a piece there, my friend. Good try by them. Mm-hmm. Yep, now we get to block. And that's it. Good game. Good try with the alien gambit. I definitely was out of book there a little bit. Never had seen that position before. All right, so let's just kind of get all our pieces coordinated here. Uh-huh. That's gonna hurt. Yep. And we want to trade. Okay, let's go check. Uh-huh. Let's bring the knight back. We would love to trade. Please take that. That's a free pawn. Okay, sidestep that. Uh-huh. Check. Check. And mate. All right. Very good try. You know, Alien Gambits. If you just got to know those first several moves. Let's see how we did, because I had a feeling I misplayed something there towards the middle game, because I never seen that before. 78%. What? 5 inaccuracies, 1 miss. What? I thought that was a fantastic game. Well, let's see where we messed up. Yeah, best. Yeah, okay, see, yeah, I knew this is a bit of a weird, there's definitely, I don't have a single line in my repertoire where we pin this knight in the Alien Gambit, not a single one. So I'm already out of book here a little bit. So black is already winning minus 2.2. But this is just a normal move that we play, right? We want to play this e6, so we eliminate any danger on the diagonal. Plus, this is a good outpost for our knight to go to d5 that we've talked about before. Because once this knight gets on d5, there's no pawn on the E or the C files that can dislodge this knight on d5. And they're already down a piece, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. That's a weird move. Well, taking was best. Okay, that was another inaccuracy. What's the difference? I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a pawn on e5 in the Alien Gambit, so I did miss that. I could have picked up the e5 pawn there. Okay, definitely got that. And that was best. So afterwards, I thought maybe that wasn't such a good move. The computer says it's okay. Yeah, look at that, guys. I've never in my entire life had a king on e7 in the Alien Gambit. Never. And that turned out to be the best move. Okay, that was fine. That's excellent. Best. Excellent. Fine. Okay, yeah, could have given a check here, but I was already down to 36 seconds. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just, I was just thinking in my mind, I was thinking, okay, they have a rook, right? And so this rook's only hope is to come down here and get on one of these semi-open files. And my natural instinct was, let's just consolidate. Let's put the bishop on c6. Let's close off all of the files. Yeah, and now what's that rook doing? Okay, so I got hammered a little bit because it wanted to go queen d4 check. Okay, I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, okay, so that was 3 inaccuracies in a row because I didn't play this move. And then play queen d4 check. 2, 3 inaccuracies. Okay, fine. But I mean, I was thinking, we were thinking, get the knight here. Let's attack the queen. Let's threaten this. They don't have a way. They can't move their queen anywhere that stops this. They can't go there. They can't go there, and they can't go there. So this is coming regardless. And this is now is that the 4th time in a row? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, that was just 3 times. Yeah. And that's an inaccuracy. That was 4 inaccuracies in a row. And I thought these were very good moves. Why not win the exchange there? Best. We had a miss in here somewhere. Did I miss a best? Oh, that's mate. Oh, okay. So we missed a mate in 1 and is mating 2, but I guess they could, they could have blocked there. All right, so fine. 15 seconds. All right, yeah. Not the greatest game, I guess, but the game was never in doubt, so let that roll off like water off your back. All right, continuing on. Okay, we have Salazar from the Philippines, game number 8. And another exchange variation. Pin and win. Yep. Knight of 6, e6. Okay, they will be able to get control of f4 and e5. So let's play e6 and then a6. This is loose. They need to play bishop e3. They do not. Don't go back. Okay. Yeah, because if they had gone back, and once again we push and then d4 hangs. We've already seen that before. We've already seen that here in this exact video. So the question is queen b6 take. Yeah, bishop takes e6. Queen b6 takes rook here. Yeah, that doesn't work. So let's play bishop e7, castle, and then a normal c5 push. Actually, this looks a little bit more attractive now. But then maybe they play this. Yeah, let's go ahead with c5. Ooh. They allow us to take. And once again, we have 2 central pawns and they have 0. All right, I like queen b6. That hits the rook and the pawn. That looks good. Rook b8 looks good. Bishop here. This certainly looks like the strongest. So we'll play it. You don't have this move. If you take here first, yeah, it's probably not good for black. So maybe they should take first. We take, then they have that. Maybe queen here, rook here, get some pressure on the knight on c3. That does not look right. even if you get your rook here down to b7, we're going to win 2 pawns, and we can simply play rook e8 to defend the bishop. They play this. I'm actually not sure which pawn to take. Probably the a pawn to give us an outside pass pawn. But taking this makes these d pawn much stronger. I think I will take the a pawn. Just kind of pins that because we're up 2 pawns. They don't really want to trade queens. I think this would be a pretty good move for white. Let me drop the queen back. Okay. That I don't understand. Why would you do that? Because now... What? Yeah, now pretty much you have to play that move. I don't see what else you do. What? You cannot trade queens there. Push. Pass pawns must be pushed. Let's be principled. Let's give ourselves an escape square. That's a mini stop, drop, and roll, right? It's not really a blunder, but it's just not a good setup. So let's get those wheels turning. We can play rook b8, offer trade of rooks, but I don't feel comfortable doing that without an escape square. So this knight is not very happy. Yeah. All right. Pass pawns must be pushed. Yeah. And there's nothing to do here. I mean, I guess they could try this. They got to get rid of this bishop because what's stopping us from promoting? But even if they had played this, I probably would have just put the bishop here. They play something like this, you just play this. Solidify the bishop there, and there's nothing you can really do to stop that. So, hey, we got some respect. An early resignation respect. All right, let's see how we did. Yes, sir. We take those 97%. So let me get this straight. I think we just went from 99.5% down to 78%, back up to 97%. Yeah. Yeah, we take those. All right, let's see what we had there. So we didn't have any subpar moves. No inaccuracies, mistakes, misses, or blunders, which is great. Yeah, we've seen all this before. Best to best. Excellent. Yeah, rook c8. Yeah, so remember if we can't fight for control of that e5 square and they have the option to play bishop to f4, then we want to go ahead and trade. Yep, best. You know, got that nice pawn structure that we like. It wanted the early c5, yeah. Queen b6. We talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, wants to kick the bishop to... makes sense, right? To kick the bishop to challenge it, and that gives us an escape square. So, yeah. Noted. Okay, so it was correct to take the A pawn. What about taking the C pawn? Now it drops down to... let's back up. Oh, about a... yeah, now it's only about a 1/10 of a pawn, so either one of those was good. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Look at that, guys. Minus 2.8. That's just simple exchange of pieces. But look at that. So I tell everybody, you know, we talk about this in my Fundamentals 101 when I teach a brand new student that doesn't know anything about chess. I talk about this. How do you know when to exchange pieces? Well, it's not just enough about the point values, right? Everybody thinks this is a 3-point piece for a 3-point piece, and it's an even trade. You got to get rid of that mentality. There's no such thing as an even trade in chess. So I always play this funny little clip. I'll play it again.
Good try. Oh! A double knockdown! Unbelievable! Who's going to get up here? Is it going to be Dorian? Dorian's got his feet!
All right, so why do I show that clip? Well, the two guys just knocked each other out. So that's like a bishop and a knight being traded. But somebody always gets back up. Somebody always has the longer end of the stick, and somebody gets the shorter end of the stick, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if you got a stick, how do you know which one's the longer, the short end? It's stupid. but we say a lot of stupid stuff. So somebody will always be better. And here we are much, much better. This knight is now kind of pinned. They should have played this. And you allow us to trade queens, and that's it. That's game over. Make an escape square and push. So, okay. On to game number 9. We're playing Giorgio. Oh, Georgie. You guys remember the old classic, the original It, when the clown's down in the sewer?
I, Georgie, am Pennywise, the dancing clown.
Another advanced variation. Yep. Actually, I think here we block with you don't usually see this. Yeah, I'm going to block with the bishop because our knight wants to be on d7 so that we can right. Yeah, so I think I would just play e6 here. I mean, takes, yeah, just e6. Okay, now I think we take, we can transfer this knight to f5 or to c6. I actually kind of like, I actually kind of like getting this knight to c6. We're putting a lot of pressure on e5. Yeah, queen c7. Now they're going to have to play queen e2. Never mind. They don't have to play. They can play whatever they want. No big deal. We have 3 attackers. They have 2 defenders. Which knight to take with? Probably this one, yeah. Our knight wants to be on c6 in most of these lines. There's no way to pin this. And what do you know, guys? We have 2 central pawns and they have 0. All right, let's make a... Shh, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Okay. Now, if we play queen here, that's an interesting move. Probably a good move. Okay. I don't see a better square for the queen. Yeah, I like c4 for white here. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. We're up a pawn, so don't mind that so much. Ooh, that move's a problem, though. Hitting that and that. Okay, so I think we got to go king up. Stop this. Yeah. What does that move do? You're just asking to be attacked? You want to go here, right? Right. Okay, so we can't play this rook because we can't defend that way because that one hangs. So let's do this one. So now if they go here, we go this. Yep. And now we're defending everything. Let's double on the C file. Ooh. I got the good one. Pause the video. What would you play here? Yes, sir. D4. This is a restricted piece. It has a defensive responsibility. And that's pinned, right? So now I think we can take. Yes. Yes. We take that, they take this. Right. Okay. Okay, let's play this. I don't want them to take this with check. Oh, okay. No, we're happy to trade. We'll trade all day long when we're winning, baby. All night long. Gotta speed up.
I feel the need for speed.
Okay, let's go here. Don't want to run into any checks. That's fine. What? What? No, no, no. No, no, no. Let's just take that. Yeah. Oh, Georgie. Good game. I thought they played very well. All right, let's see how we did. Okay, we're going back and forth. 99.5, 78. 97%, 81. So yeah, I probably missed some stuff at the end. This seems to be a reoccurring theme. But I'm trying to, obviously I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to talk as I'm playing. So I'm not leaving myself a lot of time at the end. So I'm probably making some mistakes towards the end there. Yeah, okay. So blocking with the bishop was correct because look at that. I spent 20 seconds on that move. And the knight block is, yeah, look at that. That's almost half a pawn for white. So I'm glad I took some time there. Because I don't think this might be the first time we've ever seen this weird move order. Okay, that was best. Okay, excellent. Best. Best. Okay, excellent. Yeah. G4, that's a hard move to think about at this moment. It doesn't want the free pawn. It wants to play, computer wants to go rook G8. Raise your hand if you would have played rook G8 there.
Nope.
Okay, just win a pawn. Wanted to castle. Okay. Yeah, now I saw that maybe this was a bit of an issue. Wanted to go F4. Okay. Yeah, see that was going to be a bit of an issue. I mean, it's still good for black, still minus a pawn, basically. Yeah, I almost made a mistake. I almost played this. And now white is borderline winning. Yeah, I saw that. And then now they're hitting this and they're hitting that. So I kind of went through that checklist very quickly to make sure that it didn't make the wrong move there. And now black is fine, minus 1.2. Okay, didn't like that. So we had had 5 inaccuracies. Okay. G4. Wow. Computer does not care. I was worried about this move. Computer does not care. Are we really going to walk up this way? Look at that, guys. The computer wants to walk the king up the board. Just fearless. Don't care. We're just going to put on our gear and hike up the mountain. Just take a little trip up the mountain. No big deal. That's hard to see, man. So, yeah. And now black is completely lost. Minus 2.6. Still wanted G4. Okay. So probably wants G4 for several moves. That might have been. And that's obviously very strong, right? Because their knight is basically pinned. It has a defensive responsibility to watch out for the H2 pawn. Probably should have played it here. Yep. I was like, man, this is a cool move, right? I hit the tactics recognition buzzer and the computer's like, nah, no need for that. Just kick this guy. Yeah, this is all really good. Okay, so I'm glad I did. I was almost about to take this, right? And then I realized I went through the checklist. Did they have any checks? Yes, they do. So if we had played this, okay, still winning. Yeah, but there's no reason to go in for that. So I'm glad I played the best move there, pushing the pawn. And now, yeah, now we just trade. I think everything from here is probably pretty good. I thought about pinning this here, but mate and one, yeah. I will say that probably is one of my biggest, me personally, that's probably one of my biggest opportunities for improvement because I think I play so much bullet, so many blitz games that when I'm in a completely dominant winning end game like this, I tend not to try to find try to find those, mate and twos, mate and threes, because I'm just so used to moving so fast. I'm not doing it here because obviously I'm teaching, but I should slow down and take. There's no increment there, so it's kind of like, do I want to waste 5 seconds and try to find a mate and two or mate and three, or do I just want to pre-move everything where I know for a fact that I'm gonna win this game? So I kind of, even though it sounds weird, I kind of go the conservative route where I'm not even looking over here at this quadrant. I'm not even thinking. I'm just thinking pre-move, trade, and to me that's a more efficient, a better way to guarantee that I get the win when I don't have any increment. So I'm not going to beat myself up over missing a mate and one. Like literally, my eyes weren't even looking at that side of the board. Yeah, and then now just take it off. That was the best move, sacrifice, and now I'm able to pre-move, right? So I'm not too upset about the 81%. So otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good game. Let's go. Game 10. We have Kirarisha from Georgia. Oh, Georgie. All right, come on. Give us a classical or fantasy. All right, we're going to play bishop to f5 this time. I've been playing a lot of c5. I don't know what that is. What is that move? Not familiar. Not familiar. Why? You're just staring at a bunch of pawns. Mm-hmm. The old double fianchetto, eh? All right, so from here, I'm liking queen to b6. That is putting pressure on f2, and they don't have the dark square bishops on the wrong side of the board. You have a good bishop lined up on c2, so rook to c8. If these pieces move, we're coordinated on c2. Queen c7, just to flat out attack that pawn. Fianchetto, not fianchetto. Erase that from your memory. Yeah, what are they doing about f2 here? Yeah, I don't like this double fianchetto setup for white. In general, I think they're pretty good, but not at the expense of just completely giving up the center. Okay, so now my initial reaction is bishop here. Because if they take, we go here. We're hitting this. I don't see how they stop that. Well, I can just go, also just go knight here immediately. takes, here, takes. All right, let's do that. Let's go with the knight first. That looks pretty good. Yes, I was thinking takes and then takes. All right, let's make sure there's nothing better. Yeah, I like that. Because now you have to take the dart bishop first. We can bring this back, and they have a soft d4 pawn. This is hanging. And we have some potential checks, so they can't castle. They haven't developed over here. Right, okay, that's a good move. That stops a bunch of stuff. So, but now I'm thinking rook c8. For rook c2, if they play this, takes. I don't think we can play d4 because I don't think we can allow the check here on c8 by the queen. That looks amazingly wrong for a number of reasons. Nah, I can't get away with that. No way. Check. Rook's hanging. Nah. Nah. All right, we got 2 minutes. Time to calculate. Takes. King here. Check. King here. Check. That looks good. Also, check. King here. Just queen check. They can't go back to the back rank because of mate. So yeah, maybe the queen check on the second rank is better. That way we can bring the rook to the third rank. So if you come down to the third rank, we check. Do we have a knockout here? Check. I think this is just winning. Because if you go to the dart square, we have the check here, and that's a mate. That was a knockout. All right, let's see how we did. 92%. We were able to slightly get away from the magnet. So everything else was good. Just one miss. Okie dokie. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I never ever see that in the advanced bishop f5 lines. I'm really disappointed that I haven't been able to show you guys some of these other lines with the bishop f5 stuff that we talked about in the class. I mean, every time we play bishop f5, it ends up just being a normal c5 push game. They're not playing the normal bishop d3s. They're not playing, you're not playing the normal moves in the main line. So hopefully that will come. Yeah, this is all correct. And black is already better. Wow. That's a nice one. Sack the knight so that we get the rook.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that wasn't on my radar. Okay, so queen b6 was best, lining up this battery. Okay, that was good. What's the difference there? A couple of tenths of a pawn, not much. Yeah, and this was, oh, that was our miss. Oh, that's a nice one. Rook c8 or rook c1. Oh, Lord, that wins the queen. Ouch. Ooh. File that one away. That's a nice one. Okay. Don't feel too bad about missing that one. That was our only subpar move. Yeah. Mate and 4. Did we find the fastest mate? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. We found the fastest way. All right, cool. So let's go to that 11th bonus game. We have Igor Moscow. Good luck. Another exchange. What's it going to be? Ah, this one. Pin and win. Okay, so I think we'll go with the queen C7 line here since there is no knight here, so our D5 pawn is safe. Okay. Again, I want to do this, but pretty sure we need to get these moves played first. Yeah, I guess we'll just drop it back. I think that's probably a good choice for white, but I don't think that is. Because now we get in C5. And once again, we're going to have 2 pawns in the center. They're going to have 0 pawns in the center of the board. I think we'll just block here with the knight. It's fine. Let's see here. Don't think we want to trade, so my instinct is to play bishop here to save the bishop and to hit h2 at the same time. That comes with tempo. That buys us a move to get castled. He didn't hear us. He did not hear us. Okay, so now my instinct is to pull it back. This time I want to pull it back to e5 to put some pressure here. Checklist. Did they have any checks? They have 1 that loses immediately.
No, there is another.
None of our pieces are hanging. They do have c2 that's loose, but obviously we can't abandon the bishop, so I think this is a good move. We do have a way to get the queens off with queen c4 because that rook is very sad. I don't think it's worth it to break up our nice central pawn structure though, so I think we'll just get castled here. I don't see anything that white can do at the moment. If they move this bishop, then rook a to b8 or rook f to b8. Yeah, and now I simply want to trade. This knight's not doing much here, so let's offer a trade. Yeah, now we got this nice battery lined up. So once again, I'm thinking this might be a little bit difficult to get this in though. Let's hit the queen. Okay, so now I kind of like that. So we're gonna have to waste a couple of moves to do it, but or not waste, but now, yeah, they want to go here, right? Let's not allow that. Put some pressure on b2. Okay, yep, good move. Yeah, I think we can just push the pawn. Maybe even push f4. It's a bit aggressive, but they're loose on the h file. Right. Now that's very attractive to me. Because now we can push f4. And that will lock this bishop out. And they don't really want to be playing moves like this. Yeah, now I'm loving this. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. What are you doing about that move? You got to move your king, right? What? Bruh. King and queen on the same straight line. Okay, they blundered.
Stop, drop, and roll.
We want to trade, right? But also like getting the rook over here, bringing the queen over. Yeah, so I like bringing the queen over to get in here. I probably should have gone here because now they can go bishop e1, but that's okay. Yeah. Now we're threatening mate in 2. Well, we went from a mate in 2, and now it's a mate in.
Game over.
All right, good game, Igor Moscow. Let's see how we did. All right, 89%, 3 inaccuracies, and everything else looked pretty good. Yeah, we've talked about this before. I refuse to play that queen a5 move. I just don't like it. I mean, they could just block with knight c3. I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, I mean, I thought about this, but normally we might be threatening because a lot of times this knight is on c3. And so then bishop d6 is a good move because then you're threatening to take f3 and then take h2. But since there's a knight here, I didn't think you were not threatening it, so they can just replace it with the other knight. Taking there was best in c5, and we're just better. We're just better. Okay. Yeah, it just allowed us to take the pawn on h2, and you saw what happened. That one little mistake of giving up that h-pawn. Guess what happened? Where did the checkmate happen? On the open h-file. Got to go through the checklist. They got 4 minutes. We're on move 17. And again, this game only lasted 34 moves. So we're literally at 50% of the game, and they've only used 20% of their time. Got to work on that clock management. I do too. I'm not immune to that criticism. But again, I'm talking while I'm playing, so there's that. Castling is best. Trading was good, and black's just winning. Just winning. Yeah, that was one of our inaccuracies because of this idea. If we put it here, then queen here, there's no threat because the bishop is guarding. But I guess I was thinking my idea was to bring the bishop back, maybe switch these guys around, put the queen back in front of the battery and line up. Because remember, the queen wants to be in front of the diagonal batteries most of the time. Okay, so, wow, look at that. I guess if the bishop comes down, it wants us to play. What does it want us to play? Yeah, because the bishop comes, we can move our f-pawn, right? We can just play this. Yeah, f5 is fine. We're defending laterally. Yeah. Okay. Okay, likes that f5 move. Yeah, now things start to get pretty bad for white because, what do you know? Our 2 pawns in the center win the day. We started pushing these guys down their throat. Look at that. f5, best move. f4, best move. Now your bishop that had once great and powerful aspirations now belongs in the garbage can. Best move. Going to get killed on the h-file. You needed to move. Got to move it. Yeah, and I said right after that, I said, should have gone to a light square but it's winning. That was our only other inaccuracy. Okay, so that's it. That takes us to the 1200 mark. So as always, I hope you guys found this educational, engaging, and entertaining. So if you like this video, please consider giving a like and subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell notification so you never miss another video. And we are moving on with our Caro-Kann speedrun series. So hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you on the next one.